that and kind of put two and two together of what's actually going on there.
Draymond shot that because he saw White's hand extended. He thought he was going to be fouled shooting a three.
Very smart play that ended up being dumb as hell.
That's unfortunate.
A very smart play that ended up being dumb as hell. Robert, you've seen this happen before.
Yes, I've seen that happen before, but I'm not even going to blame Draymond. I'm going to blame the inbounder.
Thank
Steph
you.
comes wide open. Give the ball to Steph. What
Thank
are you
you.
doing? Can't blame Draymond.
Guess what? I'm not gonna blame the inbounder. I'm gonna blame the flying bats that be flying around that arena
Well,
in
that's
San Antonio and just say they hit Draymond in his face.
Manu's not there to clean it up anymore. He's not there to be pest control. This is the problem, clearly. Welcome to The Jump. I'm Rachel Nichols alongside 7-time NBA champ Robert Horry and 2008 champ Kendrick Perkins. I'm sorry I had to do that to you, Perk. That one ring you have is very shiny and special, but you're next to Robert Horry, so, you know.
Hey, Rach, look, it's okay because guess what? I'm here with the greatest role player of all time.
All time.
I say that all the time, so look, I take that. Big Shot Rob, H-Town legend.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Perk.
All right, guys, coming up after that narrow loss Monday, Steve Kerr said he won't stretch Steph's minutes to win now. Interesting strategy we will discuss. But first, LaMelo Ball can tell you it's not easy being the youngest brother in a famous family. All you want to do is make your own way in the world. But before you can even really get started, everyone's comparing you to your older siblings, pushing you into the family business, until one day you wake up and you're leaving decapitated horse heads in people's beds. Wait, no, sorry. That's Michael Corleone. Anyway, the point is, LaMelo has had a lot to navigate for a long time. There was the shadow cast by his brother Lonzo, who was drafted number 2 overall. The even longer shadow cast by his father, who after being a guest on seemingly every television show ever created, finally started a reality show of his own that debuted to 26 million viewers. I don't know what any of you out there looked or acted like when you were a sophomore in high school, like LaMelo was at the time, but I, for one, am very grateful I did not have 26 million people examining my every move. There was also the matter of middle brother, LaAngelo, getting arrested for shoplifting, which could have been treated as just a minor teenage indiscretion, except for, well, when your family is famous, nothing is minor, and so it snowballed into an international incident involving Donald Trump. Oh, and then there was also the fight that LeVar got into over the coach at LaMelo's high school, which ended in LaMelo having to leave his friends and everything he'd ever known to go play ball in Lithuania. So that is a lot of other people's baggage to be carrying around before you even get the chance to figure out who you are yourself. And yet, instead of being bitter or entitled or burned out, LaMelo not only made it through in one piece, he has become one of the brightest young stars in this bizarre NBA season, driving a Charlotte Hornets franchise that had previously seemed eternally stuck in neutral. Watching Ball is just so much flat-out fun. He's got an improvisational style that makes everything constantly fresh. His court vision is insane. Remember this behind the back? That was in his very first preseason game. Since then, Ball and Bridges have been turning basketball courts all over America into their personal And One mixtape tour, with Gordon Hayward also getting a healthy boost from Ball as well. And along the way, Ball has pushed his way into the starting lineup, become the youngest player in NBA history to record a triple-double, and last night tied a franchise rookie mark when he hit 7 3-pointers against the Rockets, outdueling Victor Oladipo to earn the Hornets a win. Take a look at some of these shots. I mean, just so nice, cool, calm. The performance was all the more impressive considering Ball's pregame routine was disrupted by an issue with his COVID test. Team officials had him stay home until it was cleared up, which means Ball basically walked into the arena, put on a uniform, and started playing. And of course, it wouldn't be a breakout LaMelo Ball game without an eye-popping assist. Check this out to beat the buzzer in the first quarter. I mean, come on. That's ridiculous. The performance was strong enough to get another round of Rookie of the Year talk going. Now, only time will tell if Ball makes good on that. But in the meantime, there is zero doubt about the way he has energized Charlotte as a franchise and made the Hornets must-see TV. You know, just when you think they're out, he pulls you back in. Not bad for a little brother at all. So, Perk, you have established yourself as being firmly on the LaMelo bandwagon. How good do you think he can ultimately be?
Well, look, Rachel, listen, you know I was saying on draft night that the New York Knicks needed to grab this kid. He was a superstar in the making, and he is showing that right now. But look, when you look at this guy, it's about time that the head coach gave him the keys to the car because he's been ready for this moment. He is showtime. He possibly has the potential to be the face of the NBA in a couple of years. He is a baby Magic Johnson in the making. I cannot wait for fans to all the way be able to come back to arenas because it is going to be sellout crowds down there in Charlotte, North Carolina. He's everything that I thought and more, and he is just flat out box office.
Yeah, see his box office, and he is playing extremely well. If you think about, if he has to work as his brother has, who had to learn how to change his shot and come into this league and do some things different, he's going to be fantastic because he reminds me of a Penny Hardaway type guy. Tall guy, skinny, can do it all. And think what Penny Hardaway used to do with Shaq. And now he's doing this on the court, doing some fantastic, electrifying the crowd with his passes and be able to come and knock down three. When he takes his shot with consistency like he does, because sometimes he has a tendency to change how he shoots, but when he shoots it like he did last night, he's going to be a fantastic player in this league for a long time because he has a huge IQ for the game.
I love that comp to Penny. And yeah, the fact that he's 6'6". And by the way, he might still be growing. This kid is only 19 years old. So he's got a guard's game, but he's 6'6", which really helps him get where he needs to be on the court. Very, very impressive. We've said on the jump all season, this is our League Pass team of the year because they're just so much fun to find on a night, even when they're not on national TV. And this kid is why I love seeing what he can do. Now, we go from one youngin' to a guy who is a vet who's earned all the credit, two-time MVP Steph Curry. He had 14 points in the fourth quarter last night, but he only played the final 5:33 of the period, which ended up as a 5-point loss to the Spurs. Now, Steve Kerr explained his decision not to stretch Steph's minutes post-game. Take a listen.
We're counting on having Steph here for a long time, many, many years ahead. And I'm not interested in grinding through this season, which is already a very difficult season given the COVID regulations and just the nature of the games themselves. These eerie, empty stadiums. This is for me, for our organization. We're not throwing Steph out there for 40 minutes to chase wins. We got another game tomorrow. We want Steph to be playing at a high level for many years, so we're going to stay very disciplined and try to keep him at that 34, 35-minute mark.
So Steph is averaging fewer than 6 minutes for the fourth quarter this year than he did last season. And Robert, he's 32 years old. He's turning 33 next month. Do you agree with Steve Kerr's reasoning here?
I'm on the fence on this. I'm like, yes or no. This is one of these moments where a player and a coach have to sit down and talk to each other. You have to say, yo, how do you feel, Steph? Steve, this is how I feel. This is what I want to happen. And I want also fans to understand that this is not LeBron James. LeBron James is one of those unique type of players who can play for 30 years, but it has to boil down to Steph Curry and Steve Kerr sitting down and Steph saying, yo, this is how I feel. And the reality of the thing is a player, he has to say to himself also, hey, I am not Superman. I am not invincible. If I have a little tweak, shut it down because he's not winning a championship this year. So why go out and try to put that much stress on your body and wait for next year?
And that's a great point. And that's the thing that I got from Steve Kerr in that post-game interview is that he's saying basically this is not a championship team. And we all know the culture of the Warriors is not just to make the playoffs, but they want to contend for a title. So with that being said, he's saying, should I just completely waste everything Steph has to offer right now or wait and spread it out throughout the years? And when his partner in crime, Klay Thompson, comes back next year, then we'll be back right in the mix of things where we were before, and that's contending for a title. So I love what Steve Kerr is doing with Steph Curry and saying, hey, I love what you're doing. I love what you're bringing to the table this year. But in all honesty, our chances on winning the title are not high. I need to save some of this Steph Curry for the years to come. And then it was a message to the others on the team to say, hey, we cannot just continually heavily rely on Steph Curry. You guys are going to have to step up also. That was also a message in that post-game interview that I got from Steve Kerr, to his guys also.
Hey, Steve Kerr, Steve Nash, Steph Curry, it's a lot, Perk. You're excused. It's a lot. And that's a great point about the other guys on the team because it does send a message to them. I worry a little bit about the other guys on the team in the other direction because, of course, it's smart to preserve Steph Curry. We just showed that sort of catalog of Steph injuries. Those visuals just made me cringe. They stink to watch. So, yes, you want to make sure that he is fully healthy when you have Clay back next year. That being said, it's the culture of winning that you're trying to set up. They have a number of young players on this team, right? So you want to make sure you walk that line of preserving Steph for the future, not being too cute, though, in a way where guys start to develop bad habits, the younger guys on the team. I'm not worried about Steph, obviously. He's fine. He's set. He's going to be good to go. But some of the guys that they are developing, we'll have to see the effect on them. We are not done with Steph Curry, gentlemen. He hit another ridiculous 3 last night, and it sparked our producers to list the most impossible threes of Steph Curry's career. This is going to be a tremendous video roll, so stay tuned for that. First, though,